This is James Francis and welcome to this week's live Digital Prosperity Accelerator show. If you can hear me okay and see me okay, please go ahead, let me know in the comments. It's great to have this two-way interaction here while we're live on air. If you're watching in the recording, go ahead and just comment recording to let me know that you're watching the recording, and I can send you over some free gifts just to say thank you for catching up with our stuff. And also, if you're watching this any point in the future, feel free to, comment below with any questions you may have as we go through this week's content. Now, speaking of which, in today's session, I'm going to be helping you to turn your advice or any kind of knowledge you may have or any experiences you've had in the past. Let's say you've lost weight. Let's say you've learned how to play the guitar. You help people with fertility. Let's say you are interested in survival or preparedness or anything like that. To turn that knowledge and that advice or anything you know into an online course which provides passive income whether you're working or not. All right, so let me know if you're excited about that prospect. Just to give you some context here, I've been doing this stuff since 2008, so a very long time, about 14 years now, and we've sold over $2 million in online courses. That's not including any services or anything else that we sell, like any coaching or anything like that. So it's basically that we've done this stuff ourselves, and I want to share that with you guys and girls today on this session, all right? And if you do feel like you want some help to implement what I share with you today, I'm going to give you an invitation at the very end, but of course that's totally optional, all right? The invitation will be to work with us on a closer level in our coaching program. Once again, my goal for you today is to get some incredible value and advice from this live session, right? Or of course, if you're watching in the recording of the live session. Okay, so let's begin. Now, when I first started my online business back in 2008, I was doing a lot of affiliate marketing, but at the same time, I was also doing a lot of freelancing. A lot of people don't know this. I've not really shared this much before. I didn't seem, it seemed to be relevant, right? But I was doing a lot of freelancing, specifically writing emails for follow-up sequences for other, clients and stuff on Upwork.com, which back then used to be called Odesk.com. That was back in the day. So I was basically doing work for other people on their sales funnels. And I thought to myself, why am I just doing this work for other people when I could be just sharing the knowledge and advice and putting it into an online course? So I created my first online course and I sold that for $997. It was called Easy IM Profits. Way back then, the whole thing was around internet marketing. That's what everyone called it. That's what everyone said it was. But I didn't really have a clue what I was doing. Honestly, I was thinking I'm way over my head here. I'm not an expert. I'm not an authority figure on this subject. I don't have any previous testimonials or clients or anything like that. And why should people listen to me when there are tons of other people out there doing a way better job than me? But heck, let's give it a shot, see what happens. What's the worst that can happen, right? Nobody buys it? Wow, you've wasted about 2 weeks, right? It's not a big deal. But what happens if it does go well? What happens, if somebody buys it, even one person? $1,000 to me back then was like 3 months of my paycheck. So I was thinking about in my head, wow, all I need is one sale of 997, and that'd be incredible. Plus somebody gets helped at the same time. After all, the whole point of this is to help other people as well as earning an income for yourself as well, right? So that's what I did. I launched it, and launch day came and I hit send on my email list, which was I think less than 100 people at the time, and I didn't have any social media following or anything like that. I literally just had 100 people from a few contacts I'd picked up over the years of trial and error, the affiliate marketing stuff and so on. And I ended up making a sale, not the first day, not the second day, but the third day into the 5-day launch. And I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then I made an extra I think it was 2 or 3 sales. I can't remember. It's 14 years ago, but it was a long time, and it was basically that basically paid my paycheck for the next 6 months or so at the time, and I was ecstatic. I just couldn't believe it. I was in university at the time, and I went out and celebrated with my friends with a few drinks, as you would at 18 years old or 19 years old, right? So That's how I got started with this. And ever since then, we've kind of scaled this in terms of creating lower priced offers, higher priced offers, and so on, ranging from all the way down to $7, all the way up to like $2,997, right? So those are our courses, you know? So that's essentially what we did. I just took the advice or knowledge that I'd learned from other people and my experiences and opinions and put them into an online course. And the way I sell those is with automated methods. I don't do any, phone conversations to get people into those courses. We do that with our higher ticket stuff, but for our courses, we don't do any of that. Everything is 100% automated. In this session, I'm going to share with you how that works, all right? So first and foremost as well, you obviously need to create the product and then you need to sell it. So let me go through both of those things. But hopefully that gives you an overview of how this whole thing works. You put your advice or knowledge or any sort of interests that you have into an online course, and I'll share with you what that looks like in a second. And then you put methods in place to launch that course, and then afterwards you automate that in an evergreen way so you can sell that. You can wake up with notifications on your phone of sales coming in, all right? You can wake up with those sales coming in, new customers and so on. So let's start at the beginning, okay? So you might think right now, James, I don't have any expertise. I don't have any authority status in my industry. I don't even know what to go into. I don't even know what to create a course around. Well, the beauty of that is that you don't need to have qualifications. You don't need to have any credentials or anything like that. You don't even need to be working as a job with the topic area that you'll be helping people with. Yes, it does help. So for example, if you're helping people with, let's say, minimizing their diabetes or something like that, or alleviating the symptoms of diabetes, something like that, it does help if you're a nurse or in some way, shape or form linked to that topic. Let's say you're a health professional of some kind, because then you can come across as more authoritative, but it's not required. We have tons of clients who are helping people. For example, one guy helps dads over 40 to get fit. He's not a personal trainer. He's just an average guy who's a dad over 40, So that's something that we've definitely helped people with. But don't think that you have to have all of this knowledge, all of this expertise and authority status, because you don't, right? All you need is the desire to help other people and also the desire to grow your own knowledge in your topic. Because after all, if this is something you want to be doing long term, you want to start out with a few, let's say a couple $100 a month, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Just an extra couple $100 a month. And then like a couple thousand, you start doing more of the same thing on a bigger scale. Maybe you spend maybe a little bit more time investing in that, and a little bit more money, maybe you branch out into paid advertising and so on, then you start to make a greater return on that advertising, and then you can grow that to 10K a month, right? And then you can grow beyond that as well if you want to. There is no limit as to how large you can grow these online courses and how much money you can make from them. Personally, right now, we are doing between 20 and 50K a month with our entire business. Around 80% of that is with online courses, all right? So don't feel like there's a ceiling as to how much you can earn. Even right now, we're doing that kind of revenue with only 2 staff members. Yeah, 2 people on our team. So we have Lee, who's our funnel builder and enrollment specialist, and also we have John, who's our customer support manager. So I don't need to do the customer support. So all in all, it's 3 people, including myself, right? Making that kind of income. So the profit margin you can see is typically anywhere between 50 to 80%, compared to most offline businesses. You're looking at a profit margin of like 10 or 20%. That's why on Shark Tank, you see all these people like, I'm bringing home $1 million per year or whatever else. And then the sharks ask them, well, how much of that is net profit? And they tell the sharks, well, probably only about 50K. And you're like, what? Like from $1 million, you're only bringing home 50K. That's ridiculous. With online courses, there's no overhead. There's nothing that you need to pay every time you get a new customer, because it's already been created and you just keep selling the same digital footprint, if that makes sense. Like there's not an actual physical product to send to anybody because it's all online. That's the beauty of online courses. Anyway, I digress. So you have this knowledge, this advice you want to share with people, whether it's because you're interested in it, you're passionate about it, and you want to become good at it. What do you do with that knowledge? Well, think of it this way. If you were helping somebody one-on-one in a coaching or consulting environment, or some sort of service that you may offer, whether it's now or imaginary in the future, what would people need to be walked through to get to a specific end goal they're looking to achieve? Okay, I'll say that again, it's very important. If somebody has a specific end goal, what are the steps they need to be walked through from very beginning to the very end to achieve that end goal? And that is what you put into your online course, okay? Are you with me so far? Let me know in the comments. So basically, let's say, for example, in my industry, most people will need to think about their niche. They need to identify what niche they're going to go into, right? Because you can't just say, I'm going to create an online course, and then somebody asks you, what about? And then you're like, I have no idea, right? So you need to identify what that niche is going to be. The next step is to research that niche to fully understand what people actually want to go ahead and buy, and also what they need help with the most as well. And then you need to differentiate yourself in the marketplace so your stuff stands out to everyone else's, using certain sales and marketing techniques that we teach to our clients and stuff. And then you can start recording and creating that content in a way that you can just give to people in the future. You know, give them login details, access details. They can just log in, access all that stuff right away, and you don't even need to be there. All of that is automated. So they hit submit on the payment form, on the order form, they receive an email and text message with their login information, you know, their email and password, and then they can log in straight away and start accessing the stuff they've paid for. You don't need to be awake. You could be asleep and somebody across the other side of the world is there buying your stuff, or even somebody in the same country if they're awake late at night or whatever, or in a different time zone in the US, for example, the other side of the coast, you know? So then it's like, you can actually just do this stuff without actually having to be physically at your desk, which that's my desk, by the way. I do all this stuff online. You know, this is my office in my house. I don't have anything fancy. We used to have an office. I posted a video in the group a few days ago, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. And you can see in that group video, basically we were like, we wasted $72,000 on this office because we never used it. COVID hit and nobody could work from a real location in person because everyone had to stay at home and quarantine and all that stuff. And then we just never used it ever since. Ever since quarantine was lifted. Why lift it? Why go there? Because everyone can work from home and we didn't have a need for that. And that's the beauty of the online business world as well. Anyway, so you have that automated process. What does that look like? Well, you will have it set up so that when somebody submits their payment on the order form, they automatically get their account created for them. They receive their login information and they receive that and they can log in, right? So that's done in about 10 seconds. All that stuff is done automatically. Now you're probably thinking, well, James, how do I sell that? How do I launch it? Well, there's a few ways you can go about this, okay? Obviously, we don't have enough time in this weekly session just to go through every single little thing in detail, but I'm going to give you what's working well for us right now. So for us right now, what's working well is to either offer a very small lead magnet. So this is typically a PDF report or a video, which people opt in for. So you probably see in the ads on Facebook where it's like, get our free thing. You click on it and then you go over to a page which is asking you for your email address. They would enter their email address into that form, they join your email list, and that's how you build your audience at the same time as making a profit, by the way, because they're opting in for your list, and then you follow up with them about your course, right? And of course, after they opt in, they hit the submit button on that form, they should get redirected over to a page which tells them a little bit more about your course, as well as giving them what they opted in for as well. So we call this a hybrid download page or a hybrid sales page, depending on the focus. So at the very top, it's like, hey, thanks for opting in. Here's your free thing. While you're here, check out our our course to do XYZ, whatever the outcome is of that course. So then there's a whole page which tells them about it in a compelling way. There's an order form button at the bottom, which typically says, add to cart or something. They click on that and go ahead and, pay and, create their account. So obviously not everyone's going to buy straight away, right? So that's why we have the follow-up sequence in place, where we have a series of emails which go out automatically one day after each other. And typically for about 7 days or so, you will approach things in different ways per email. So in the first email, it could be, hey, here's the link to the thing you've opted in for. Go ahead and grab it now. Also, don't forget to check out our, to learn more about our new course, which is going to help you to do XYZ if you want to get better results in a shorter time frame. And then the next day could be just, hey, checking in that you received what you opted in for yesterday. And then also the rest of the email could be stuff like, also just to let you know, and then some other benefits about your online course, what's going to help, what it's going to help them with, what they're going to achieve, the outcomes they can expect, and so on and so on. And then the next email could be something else, like testimonials is always a good thing to do. Like if you give previous client case studies or previous student case studies, that kind of stuff. And then after that, you would start talking about another testimonial or case study. And then you start to introduce some sort of scarcity. So we would then say, hey, this is closing in the next 48 hours or so, or tomorrow night we're increasing the price in our system because you wouldn't be a new subscriber anymore. And, your new subscriber discount is going to expire, something like that. You can, of course, come up with something that works best for you. We typically give people a 7-day new subscriber discount. So it's like you get 72% off the usual price if you purchase within the first 7 days of joining our email list. And we have that automated in our back end as well in our system. And that works really well because it gives people a deadline. If you just leave people just buy whenever, they don't typically get that excited to go ahead and purchase because they think, yeah, I'll think about it and come back to it later. And later never happens. So that's important. Now, after that point, you can kind of have them on your email list. I'm laughing here because a lot of people just don't do anything at this point. They just leave it and think, well, they didn't buy, that's it. But just because somebody doesn't buy straight away in the first 7 days, it doesn't mean they're not going to buy in the future. So what most people do is they just do nothing and then they miss out on like tens of thousands of dollars of income because they don't follow up with people after this point. Now, what you can do is either put them on your broadcast list, so you notify them of new content, new videos like this one, or live streams like this one, or like YouTube videos, new TikToks even, like whatever you're doing on social, you can notify them about new posts, new blog posts, new offers, new special workshops you're doing online, or something like that. You don't necessarily need to just have one online course, you can have multiple. So you can often promote other courses as well after that point, and then get them into the original thing you wanted them to buy, that you really wanted them to buy, after they've purchased something of lesser value, lesser price. So then you can upgrade them after that point. Maybe they don't want to go for a low price solution. Maybe they just want to go straight into for coaching. If that's something you want to do, then you would charge them upwards of $3,000 just for that coaching experience. So really it's up to you and how you want to structure your online business, but essentially you would focus the first 7 days on getting them into your online course. After that point, don't just go silent, don't just ghost them. You need to maintain that relationship with new content, at least one piece of new content each week. That's one of the reasons why we have this live stream every week in this group, because it maintains that relationship with our people, but also it makes me feel good as well. It's practice for me speaking on video, but also, it's good for relationship building and helping our prospects to see that we actually care about you guys, and showing you guys that we actually have something to offer. We have our coaching program. At the end of each one of these, I recommend our coaching program. If it was you could recommend a course, right? And you can actually set all this stuff up in probably around 2 or 3 weeks. If you do things in the right way, you can create your entire course, you can have it online, you can have the automated process set up and done in about 2 or 3 weeks, which is awesome. It's incredible because most people think it takes about 2 or 3 weeks. Most people think it takes about 2 or 3 months. The reality is, if it takes you that long, then you're probably not using all the tools available at your disposal. You're probably not shortcutting the process using the methods that we teach, or you're not using templates for your sales funnels and stuff that we've provided to our clients and so on. So you're having to create everything from scratch, which is not great. So that's something to think about as well. Now, at that point, you essentially have this system, this process. And in order to grow your income, you essentially just send more traffic to that same process. That's it. Just do more of the same thing. Get more and more people to see that process, that sales funnel, if you want to call it that. We call it a profit process because we do some slightly different things to what most people do in a sales funnel. But yeah, you essentially send more people over to that profit process or sales funnel, and you get people through that process. You continue to build that audience over time. Whenever you have a new special offer, you'll have more and more people on your email list every time you do that. And eventually you just continue building this audience, continue building your authority status by doing so, having more and more new customers, more and more new clients, you introduce more offers, and that's how you get to about 20 or 50K a month like we are, right? We just do more of the same thing. You can even hire people to do things for you so you don't need to do them anymore. You can have somebody else take over your social media, have somebody else take over your customer service. That's what we've done, you know? So there's that. And then you think, well, what was the next thing as well? So that's essentially it. Like, I wish I had more to share with you in terms of the overall process, but that's the overall process. And once you have it set up, you don't need to do anything else with it. That's it. That's why I love online courses, because you set it up once and it's done. You can update it every year or so if you want to. And of course, some niches will require that more often than others. For example, health and fitness stuff, you know, the body doesn't change much overall in like a year. The human physiology and everything else doesn't change. We don't evolve that quickly. So it's okay to have content from 5 years ago if it still works, right? Obviously, you might want to upgrade the quality of the video and stuff. You know, maybe better cameras have been introduced and so on. Maybe redo the whole thing. But that's every 5 years. You know, we typically update our courses every year or so, and it takes us about a week out of the whole year to update them. And then whenever there's a major change, like Facebook changes their platform interface or something like that, we'll change that every time that happens, which is typically once every 2 to 6 months, depending on how often they do that. So once you've set everything up, you don't really need to do anything else, which is awesome. And that's what I love about it as well. So that's how you not only identify, you know, what you're passionate about, what you can create an online course around, but also how you structure things in a way that people can consume and, you know, go through at their own pace with an online members area, which is typically video. And you typically just have a camera, not this way up, not vertically, but you rotate it so it's horizontal. I'm only doing this vertically because I can see the comments and stuff coming in on my screen for the Facebook Lives. But if you're doing this in a video course format, you switch it horizontally like that. And then you're able to just present in your office, in your living room or whatever else. And then you have an online course. By the end of it should take you no more than a weekend, right? If you do this in the right way. You know, that's what we teach anyway. That's the way we do it. So hopefully this makes sense. We've talked about all that stuff, and also how to, you know, structure this in an automated way, and also how to scale it from there as well. How to get people to replace you, how to get people to kind of do the things that you don't want to do or don't have the time to do. And all of this stuff can be done with just, I'd say probably about 1 hour per day or so after your day job on the evening or something, or even before your day job if you want to wake up a bit earlier. It's up to you. So if you want more information, you know, this is what I mentioned earlier on. At the end of this call, I would give you an invitation to work together to do this stuff together. If you would like my help personally to walk you through every step in this process in more detail, go ahead and comment prosperity below this video. Whether you're watching in the recording or whether you're watching it live, go ahead and comment prosperity, and I'll be happy to, you know, reach out to you over Messenger, talk a little bit about what you've done so far, where you want to be, and see if we're a good fit. If you are, I'll connect you with our senior advisor Lee, who can, you know, walk you through what it would look like, what we can help you with specifically, the results you can expect, and everything in between. Otherwise, hopefully you've enjoyed this live session. I look forward to hearing your comments if you're watching this in the recording as well, and have a great rest of the day. Speak soon. Bye-bye.